turning up. It was very, very nice. We had 86 people signed up, which is a pretty good turnout. And as usual, a few people failed to turn up despite having spent the money. But we should all thank them, especially those of you on the naughty table, because they contribute to your extra drinking. And I'm sure you'll be doing great. A round of applause to all those who are not here. And we'd particularly like to welcome two people who are here for their first lunch as new members. One is Linda Galvin. Where are you, Linda? Stand up. Stand up, Linda. Come on. Has she gone outside? Oh, there she is. And the other is Richard Bedwell. Oh, no! And for those of you who are guests will see this is always a rowdy occasion. And I'd also like to welcome Finn Raven. Finn, stand up please. He's our guest, so he's got to stand up. He is the very eminent, respected Director General of SMR. I asked him beforehand whether he'd changed his job title, like what was the Director General of the MRS is now the Chief Executive, but he said, oh no, he hasn't. But I think he should, really. So next time we want you to be the Chief Executive of SMR. And we have 5 other guests here. I won't name them all because it would only embarrass them. Why not? Why not? Because I haven't written their names down. And I'm afraid we always have to have, nearly always have a rather sadder moment at these functions. And, you know, it's not surprising, I suppose, that over the winter we tend to have lost more members. But stop laughing, please, Tony. Since we last met, I had to announce the deaths of Pat Brown, of Stephen Buck, Cliff Holmes, Peter Jenkins, Ted Whitley, and Ann Wilson. And several of those people were very regular attendees at our events. And I know you will all miss them all. And it's very sad to have lost so many people in such a short space of time. So moving on from that, it's interesting to see that the market research market seems to be picking up a little bit. The IPA Bellwether report suggested that research budgets have actually gone up in the last quarter, which is probably the first time since about 2008. So for those of you who are still gainfully employed, I know there are 1 or 2 of you around the room, not many, at least the prospects for you may be a little bit better. I do think as an industry we were somewhat lucky last week that we weren't castigated when Tesco closed its business in California, fresh and easy. Because I can remember 5 years ago, when they launched it, they were going into reams of information about how much wonderful market research they'd done and what a great business it was going to be, and how we'd all told them what a good job it was going to be. And of course they lost $5 billion. But fortunately, none of the journalists ever went back to what they wrote 5 years ago and said, those bloody market researchers, they can't do anything. Moving on to network activities. Obviously, we need to look for new members, and we always are. So I'm delighted to say that the Market Research Society have agreed to cooperate with us by mailing all of their retired members to tell them about the research network. Unfortunately, they can't dedupe their list against our members. So quite a few of you will probably have received an email from the MRS. Well, you can just ignore it because you're members. But hopefully this will result in us getting a few more members. And I think we may well approach other bodies such as SMR, Finn, if you kindly agree to it. He's nodding, very good. APWERP and so on, to see if they'll cooperate with us too. We're also indebted to the Market Research Society and to Simon Patterson of QRI for supporting our oral history project. One of the great luminaries of our business, who we wanted to interview on this for some time, has been Bill Schlackman. But Bill is resident in Florida, so carrying out an interview with him cost a little bit more than just the normal Freedom Pass ticket to somewhere in London. So we were trying to work out how to do this, and the MRS very kindly agreed to help us in supporting the costs for that interview, along with Simon, who also wanted to interview him. So Lawrence Bailey, where are you, Lawrence? Is off to interview Bill on the 7th of May, I think, isn't it? Some people are holding up his job.
Why can't he ring him?
Mike Perry says, why can't you ring him? You can tell he's a man who works on the continuous side of aging. He doesn't understand qualitative research, does he? Anyway, the MI seems to be increasingly interested in uncovering their past history, which is good. And apparently they're going to put an edited version of the interview onto their website. So I think that bodes well for the future of this project. So hopefully the Oral History Project will continue to grow over the years ahead. That's almost all I want to say. One very small minor housekeeping event. Dennis Lee apparently is sitting on a lady's black shoulder bag. I'm not sure where you are, Dennis, I can't see you. So if you've lost your shoulder bag, look underneath Dennis's bottom and you'll find it. And finally, our next event will be the summer party, to be held on the 9th of July at Doggett's Coat and Badge, where we were last year. Let's hope it doesn't pour with rain as it did last year, and I look forward very much to seeing all of you there. Thank you very much.